Hey, what's going on, guys? Dan here at StockAbility. So back with another video in the markets this week. It's been an interesting trading week. We're going to be talking about the Coinbase IPO today, as well as bank earnings and where I see some stocks like Tesla, as well as the NASDAQ heading after today's IPO and the bank earnings. So that being said, if you're new to our YouTube channel, welcome. Make sure to kind of pause the video here, hit like, subscribe on the channel as well. There's also a little bell just below. So every video we upload, it'll send it directly to your email box. That being said, let's get into today's video and talk about the markets. So this week kicked off with earnings. So this basically the entire week, and I talked about it, and I'll talk about our guided trade sessions here at the end of the video. On Monday morning, I lead a guided trade sessions. It's kind of like an analysis session for an hour, and half an hour before the market opens in my session, and half an hour after the market opens. So one of the things we discussed this week were the bank earnings. So banks like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, etc., all had earnings today. So that was kind of where the street had its eye on today to watch to see what was going to occur with financials in the bank. So typically the markets typically follow what the financials are doing. It's kind of a barometer in some sense to what the overall markets want to do. So up to, I guess, my surprise, the banks actually beat earnings. Goldman, I guess, is really no surprise, actually doubled on their revenue, just blew out their earnings. It was an unbelievable report, basically due in large part to investment banking activities as well as trading activities. Again, not proprietary trading. There's a big kind of misconception in the world of trading out there that the banks trade against you guys. They don't. Proprietary trading ended with the banks with some rules back about 8-9 years ago. So there is no bank desk trading against you. It's more market making activities and being prime brokers for hedge funds, etc. So regardless of that, they beat earnings. They crushed. It was kind of slow to start. Pre-market didn't really do much, and it kind of rallied again. I'm not one to buy earnings a day of, so let's just kind of skip that for a second. JP Morgan, same situation. They beat earnings, really didn't do too much either, kind of fizzled out. And then we had probably, again, my least favorite bank is Wells Fargo. Again, they had earnings, took forever, so it was delayed reaction to earnings after the pre-market news, and then finally took off. So again, really just lackluster moves on the earnings markets with the banks this week. So I think that sentiment of the lack of the movement is probably going to lead to more weakness in the markets. So that being said, the other big news today was the Coinbase IPO. Again, as most IPOs go, and I can't really make this any. Let me see if I can go to a 5-minute chart. See if you guys can see this. So as most IPOs go, this is pretty typical of IPO. So this thing IPO'd at 430, or actually lower, hit a high of 430, then just basically sold off today. Okay, so let me give you my 2 cents or the 101 on IPOs. There's not a single IPO I've ever traded in my entire life that I can remember of recent times. So I stay away from them entirely unless I have shares that I got off, at somewhere else. Right now, I've looked at getting Robinhood shares off of secondary. I really stay away from IPOs in the market. It's just really bad news. I do feel bad for retail traders that get sucked into buying IPOs. There's just really nothing good that comes out of them. There's a lot of excitement. I guess I could equate it to, when you were a kid, or, I guess for me, when you get to drive like supercars, that's a big thing for me. I get excited, my emotions take over, and you just basically don't think rationally. I think that's what happens in markets. People just lose all sense of logic and trade IPOs. So this thing basically tanked again. Yeah, I saw it bounce. Who cares? In my opinion, a 30-point bounce isn't really much. IPOs come in and go all the time. One of the recent IPOs I'm involved in was Leslie's. I waited about a month to buy Leslie's pools, and I still hold that. So this was the big news today. Everybody was talking about Coinbase, the valuation. Again, in these markets, the way the markets are trading today, if I'm correct, about 1/3 of most tech names are unprofitable at this point. That number has not been around since the early 2000s .com boom. So these valuations, in my opinion, mean nothing. It's literally just all headline talk just for views. Okay, that was a valuation. Doesn't really matter. Again, so typically IPOs are exits for people that were in on an early rounds of companies, or early rounds, and they were private companies rather, to exit in the public market. So am I going to buy coin? Absolutely not. Will I buy it in 2-3 months? Probably not. Will I trade coin in 4, 5, 6 months if it becomes tradable? Absolutely yes. But again, this was kind of the news today in the market. So what that did, is basically, and again, it kind of caused a lot of crypto exposure based stocks to kind of react to that. So Tesla was one of those names today that pulled back. So whether it pulled back because of that weakness, again, it's opinion based. I don't have an opinion on that, but it did pull back pretty well today. In fact, I was pretty excited to see, and if I get permission from one of our students, she had a really good week this week trading Tesla. And I was speaking with her, and she was actually short this. And from being an instructor perspective, I never even discussed the short in our LCCR life coaching community, but she read the analysis and was short this and made some money today, so I was pretty excited about that. So I imagine that Coinbase thing, however, caused this to pull back. Do I think it's a buying opportunity on Tesla? Absolutely. I do think 720 to 700 is an area of interest. I ended up buying some options on Tesla today, both next week's options and then options that are about 6 months out. So I'm a big fan of trading duration-based options on this at the money and paying a little bit more for them. I'm also not opposed to trading leap options on Tesla as well. So again, you got a little bit of bounce at the close today. I don't mind if this trades a little bit lower. 700, 720, I'm looking to see if there's some type of rebound off that with a move back to 770 to 780. That's kind of where my target is, hopefully in the next few days. So that was kind of the news for today. Coinbase, the bank earnings. We're not out of earnings season yet. We just started earnings season. We have a few more bank earnings coming up as well. Look, right now, the way the markets are trading, I think that kind of weakness, I don't think it actually did. It led to some light selling today on the QQQs. I think that weakness sustains. I think where we are at 342s to basically 338s, I think this market more than likely becomes sideways. Okay, so again, that's my kind of read in the market right now is I do think over the next few days into earnings, we're either going to trade sideways or just lightly lower on the large indices. So I don't want to be a long here. I'm really just stocking the short side, trying to be nimble. Again, Tesla, we talked about Monday in our guided trade sessions, worked out for a long trade. So that was, if you did that one trade this week, it was pretty profitable. And then it kind of led to some more potential, hopefully, longs after today. So let me give you guys some information on the guided trade sessions. It is open and live for you guys to actually access now. If you head over to our website, StockAbility.com, you can go to guided trade sessions. So you can read everything about it here. So if you're interested in this gives you access to a trial. So a lot of you requested this. We heeded your emails and requests. We now have a trial for you to come into and test this. Okay, so again, you can trial this for 2 weeks. The good thing about this, the reason I like this when Sam and I were discussing this as well, the other members of our team, one of the things we discussed was, look, we don't want to hold a live trade room that's 8 hours a day. There's zero necessity for it. You don't need to be watching our screens all day long. We have a live coaching community. These sessions are an hour long, so it gives us an hour to look at the market, make some ideas. If you're used to these trade rooms where they're looking at 1-minute charts and 5-minute charts and trading for 10-cent moves, this is nothing like that. The good thing is you can get a 2-week trial to come in, see how we operate. It may be for you, it may not be for you, but the good thing is you can come in and test this to see if it is for you. So that being said, if you have questions, reach out to our team, Rosie over here. She's great. She can help you with any questions you have. You can also call us as well. But pretty much most of the information is right here on the website. So under education and then guided trade sessions there. So I'm going to leave you with that. Let's have a good rest of the trading week. We have some more earnings this week. I'll do some updates here. I'm back from being sick last week. I'm going to try to get back to my 3K challenge. I kind of was sick, so I didn't really do too much. And hopefully I'm going to come back this week and try to recover and put some trades on in that challenge as well. So that being said, make sure to like, subscribe in the video. We'll see you guys in the next video coming up later this week.